How do you do this publishing, critiquing? Because we were having this conversation over there, and he was already telling me the juicy parts of what he does now. What do you do now as a publisher? I mean,
I think yung wanting to publish a game that happened much earlier.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be coming together the past 1 or 2 years, but it's been a plan na medyo matagal na. Now the thing is, when I'm not sure what year was that. I think baka 2012 or something. There was this Magic the Gathering event, and then it was called Laro Convention, and then that was the first time I publicly asked potential game designers to pitch me. So I told them, I'm gonna be here. Anybody with ideas, come here, pitch your ideas. Of course, that time I also had only very vague ideas of what it entails to become a publisher.
uh-huh.
So even ngayon, I'm still learning the ropes.
Okay.
But even then, meron na akong but a lot of the designs I saw were raw and needed a lot of work. And even the game designers in the Philippines for the tabletop,
Right.
for tabletop game designers, I think had needed time to mature. And dahan-dahan siya nangyari. So, una nga, nagkaroon ng I worked with Ron Villaver. We published the first game I published was called Codes and Verses.
Oh.
It's mechanically quite simple, but it's targeted at a specific audience. Siguro sa pangalan pa lang, Codes and Verses, alam mo na medyo targeted siya towards the Christian community. A lot of the games we're making are generally targeted to audiences beyond the tabletop gaming community na I can say na converts na.
Uh-huh.
There's no point for me to publish games that will preach to the choir, so to say. Ang laging hinahanap ko is something that I can stretch or expand the existing tabletop community. So yun yung goal ko with most of the games I'm publishing. However, there are some games na makikita ko rin na parang ito pwede kong dalhin internationally. And iba naman yung gagawin ko ron with that. I can't really talk about that much because until it happens, then mahirap magsalita.
Pero also.
Yes. But in any case, I think what really happened is the game design community needed time to mature, and a lot of those people didn't know where to bring their games to. There was Unpop before na ginagawa nila independently. So even now, it's an independent, loosely organized group of people, of designers. Hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin, I cannot take credit for that group. That group happened organically. And then, nangyari lang, I got introduced to some of the people there, and I told them, hey, if you show me your stuff.
Right.
Honestly, the first stuff I saw were mostly, eto na yun, dire-diretsuhin ko na.
Oh.
Were mostly garbage.
Sorry na po.
Sorry na.
Sorry.
Ganun talaga.
No, let's be honest.
Sorry na po.
Let's be honest.
That's the juicy part I want to hear. Tell us about that. Tell us about
The
your
thing is,
experience.
If somebody wants to pitch me, their game design, ang importante lang is they have to be open to honest feedback. I'm not gonna mince words. So, and I think it might sound mean, but actually I think it's the kindest thing to tell you that, hey, abandon this. It's not gonna work, or this part doesn't work. And I understand how hard it is for somebody when you're creating something like a game. It's very personal. It's kind of like a baby. When somebody tells you your baby's ugly, it's really kind of hard to not take it personally. But that's the hard truth. When you're pitching something to a publisher, the publisher has to look at it. Hey, is this viable? And not only is it a good game design, is this something I have the ability to sell?
Correct.
However, yun nga, meron akong sinasabi, meron mga ilang designs na sabi ko, hey, I think this is good, but this is not something I can sell. let's try to connect you to somewhere na I think this is gonna work. Diba? Meron may ganun din eh. Not everything is in my wheelhouse. So ganun rin. Pero ganun lang, people don't have to be huwag kayong matakot as long as you're willing to take criticism. I'm approachable. Hindi ko kayo kakagatin.
Yeah.
So I'm open. I'm actually relatively more open than kasi sa ibang bansa ngayon, ang hirap mag-pitch eh.
Yep.
It's so hard to pitch.
Yeah, you see, you have to compete with all of these.
Exactly.
All of these you have to compete with.
So sa Pilipinas, you mentioned na nga, medyo konti pa lang, nag-umpisa pa lang. So you're actually competing you're not competing with a big pool of games when it comes to local games. But that doesn't mean we just put something out there just because we want to put something out there.
Correct.
There has to be a reason to put it out. So yun papasok yun. Siguro sa dami ng titignan kong games, there's like ilan pa lang yung actually nailabas natin. Di ba?
Hugot,
Less than 5%
Bagani.
probably hit
Yeah.
percentage.
It's probably less.
Like, I mean, you publish
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So even yung mga game designer,
Can we name
Four
some of
games.
them? So, Combat Run is one.
QNV,
QNV, Coach and Versus,
Hugot,
Hugot,
and Bagani.
Bagani.
Magani.
I saw Darna.
Darna is self-published by Balangay. Actually, yung pinakita nila sa akin yun. That's not actually the first game they showed me. But the first game they showed me was baka may magsumigaw naman, 13 prototype.
Is that something that we can, is that something hidden ba yan?
We can talk about it because it's a 13 prototype. They showed it to me. They weren't looking for a publisher then, but they just wanted feedback. Sabi ko sa kanila, yung game nila nun was it's not good.
Okay.
Basically, yun yung sinabi ko talaga. It's not good enough because why? The game is very linear during that time. And during that time, ipamature pa lang si Balangay. So, yun yung mga sinasabi ko, yung feedback ko dun sa kanila, yung time na yun, they couldn't understand what I was saying and they were very defensive, but in a nice way. I told them, you look at this, the way you design your game, you're only appealing to the 13 fans. You're not appealing outside of that.
Right.
So the problem is you immediately cut your audience down.
Correct.
And then you narrow it down because your game is actually not, it's a very difficult game and it's very linear. So sabi ko nga, if you're not a 13 fan, you're not gonna appreciate it.
Correct. I agree.
So when you get an IP, even for us, when we get an IP, our goal is to marry our medium and that IP so both parties benefit.
Yes.
So yung mga gamers, makikilala nila sa Combatron, yung Combatron, makikilala nila yung gaming. We don't get IPs just to
Dress up. Capitalize on that.
sell.
Para lang,
We want to marry the para maging beneficial to both parties. So
Correct.
yun yung hinahanap namin is partnerships. We're not just trying to cash in on, uy, hot si ganyan or whatever. So it's very different eh. So I think yung time na yun, hindi naman sinasabi kong pero kulang yung because at that point their design was not going to be able to translate well outside of the treasure pack. Yun lang yun. And in hindsight, inamin naman nila sa akin yun. Yeah, you were correct. But ngayon, mature na yung Balangay, and they're coming up with designs actually, hey, this is gonna work, hey, we can do something with that. Diba? So that's why I'm working with them now. Darna, nung pinakita nila sa akin yun, that was after Balangay, after 13, the game, they showed me 13. When I saw Darna, I go, yes, this is gonna work. At that time, they were, gusto nila mag-self-publish. Sige, okay, I told them, I'm gonna support you, I'm gonna help you distribute the game. And, nag-work naman siya. The game actually sold quite a lot. Yeah, so tama na yung timpla nila with that game. When I saw Darna, I said, this is gonna work.
Okay.
Even if I wasn't publishing, I told them this is gonna work. the game is going to work, you're gonna be able to sell it. Meron pa silang konting nuances about the distribution and the publishing na hindi nila, na nakuha, and I'm helping with that, with helping them with that now. So yun na lang. I think meron ng level of maturity ngayon yung game designers na nakatrabaho for a longer period.
Correct.
That kind of works. And even yung new designers, I'm willing to work with you if I see you taking feedback properly and if I see you improving.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of the designers improve a lot.
It's like, wow.
Talagang ako yung mind blown sa mga pinapakita nila ngayon, pero yung first game na nakita ko sana,
Mind blown din siya.
Talagang medyo kung hindi matibay-tibay ang loob nila, nag-give up na sila.
Oo, tama.
Ganun talaga. It's really like that. So, but this isn't something for people who are weak of heart.
Correct.
Ganun
Did
talaga.
you get that kind of objective but really straight to the point kind of feedback from Freddie Tan?
Well, yes, pero tawag dito, I don't know, maybe it's because of the kind of person I am, but I took it way better.
Way better?
Kasi I really appreciate when the reason why you get your games to meetups like this, the reason why you get playtested is to get honest feedback. If you don't get that, then it's like, come on, just get to the point. Break my heart. Kasi break the game. Kasi otherwise, I'm gonna waste a week, a month working on a game that doesn't work. Just
The worst part is you get it packaged, you get all the bells and the bells and whistles. You put it to a store and nobody buys it.
yeah.
That's the worst part. Kumastos ka na, there's no return in investment.
And also the feedback from Sir Freddie, Tom, and all the other people, designers and other people that I've worked with, really honed that sense of kill your darlings early. So whenever I'm working on a mechanic or new thing, it's like, okay, what would Sir Freddie say? What would Tom say?
There you are.
Yeah, so like you preempt the crowd, so it saves so much time. It's really helpful.
which actually works. Is that's what we do in the office. When in my corporate side, ganun eh.
Yeah.
What would the person say?
Yeah.
A necessary evil.
Yeah.
And in the gaming world, in the tabletop, in whatever game, villains. And I got this from a Legend of the Five Rings quote. Legend of the Five Rings quote, to pare. The villain makes the story interesting.
Scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpion. Yeah, pare. It is always the villain that makes the story interesting. Without the villain, the necessary evil is important. Yun. So let's just take this home. No? What's next? What's next for Thomas Regala?
What's next? More an expansion of Combat 1?
Talaga.
Yeah, kasi
Expansion eh.
wala na
Yun
kasi
eh.
nung pumirma si Sir Fernin, sabi niya
Kailangan ko nung
expansion.
pirma eh. Meron
Wala
pa ba
na,
kayo
tapos
nung?
na.
Bibiling ko pa. Kailangan ko eh.
Ang copy?
Yeah, I need because I only got Abaddon and Combatron eh. I
Abaddon.
want to buy the Metallica and Deathnet.
May posters pa ba tayo? I have a copy of the game here, but the posters there are still Abaddon Combatron. I don't know. Do they have-
Wala ako dito ngayon eh.
Okay,
We'll have to wait for the commercial release.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Aside from the expansion, kasi in case you haven't noticed, there's only 4 characters in there. Wala pa yung last character, wala pa yung second armor combatant,
Yeah.
Galactic Phoenix. Wala si Axel. Nakita mo yung post
I know. Where's Axel?
Nakita mo yung post namin sa page?
Yeah,
Axel's Bakery.
I saw it. Axel's Bake. Naggagawa ng tinapay.
Ayun. All the other characters will be there. Megadeth will be there. We're
Yes.
gonna introduce a game mode where one of you is Megadeth and you're gonna crush everyone.
So parang raid battle, gano'n, parang gano'n. That's
yes,
nice.
yes.
That's
So
nice.
co-op na siya.
Nice. Okay yan.
You better co-op or you die. Aside from that, since we accidentally into a system, the cards themselves, the abilities themselves, or the way the game is played, it's so open to a lot of other things. We're just looking into different IDs. Like, I can't, katabi ko yung publisher so I can't speak. Pero we're looking into a lot of things.
Yes.
There's projects we can't talk about.
Of course.
But long story short, we're looking into other things. Pero pwede naman sabihin na most of the time we're looking into IPs, diba?
Yeah.
Kasi we're pushing the Filipino culture
Yeah,
forward. My
we're-
direction is more on pop.
Yeah, we're trying to marry nga the and I'm actively looking for so I'm not just looking for game designers, I'm actually looking for creatives na they might have a comic book or they might have an IP that they want to turn into a game. And ganun lang talaga. That's where parang yung Combatron, I was just inspired by an interview by Anthony Taberna
Yeah. I know.
kay Berlin.
Right.
Sabi yun, parang, okay, I think
Ito na
panahon
yun.
na.
It's time.
Tapos ganun lang. Tas,
Ito rin. Ito rin. This
ganun lang
it's
yun.
time now. It's time.
So sabi ko, contacted somebody, si Kit, contacted Kit, hey, can you introduce me to Berlin? Sabi niya, yeah. Okay, sige. And then si Berlin was so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Very
The
gracious.
same thing. I introduced myself to
Yeah.
to this guy Chris Martinez, and he introduced me to Berlin. Berlin happened to work with my dad
Yeah.
several decades ago.
Wow.
And here we are.
Yeah. So ganun lang. So easy. Everything parang nag-fall into place with but it, the idea of making Combatron game came from basically news interview program.
Right.
Anthony Taberna.
Right.
Special mention, Anthony Taberna.
Thank you.
Yes.
Si Katon Ying.
Anthony, salamat po.
John, what's next for you, man? You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
continue with your game? Or?
Yeah, no, actually right now there's a game out there, Weekend Patrol.
Weekend Patrol. We're gonna look it up, man.
It's design. We did the design. I consulted for it. I wasn't the designer for it. Made by Mikey Cueto. Very environmentally friendly game. In fact,
I could
and
tell,
Yeah. I mean, even the components, he put a lot into the advocacy. But I consulted my girlfriend Patty. She made the graphic visual design for it. It's out now. I'm not sure. I think he personally sells it in events.
Yeah.
There's the personal it. But I cannot say for sure. But I think there are plans for a commercial release.
Yeah, there are plans for a commercial release. We just have to iron things out.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but
We'll,
it's out
we'll
there.
look it up, and then we'll
Yeah.
make sure to put it in the links and
Yeah.
the credits, man.
So that's a game about shipping turtles, and in the future, the games that we've worked on before we took the work hiatus was stay tuned for Bye Buying game.
Okay.
Yes, basically Filipino Scrabble.
Okay.
So, be prepared for Tala, basically tic-tac-toe but with stars and live that to your imagination. And yeah, the one that you saw earlier,
Okay.
we plan to release that, selling rice cakes. Kasi our goal really is to...
That's a fun game.
My personal goal really, inspired by Sir and Thomas, is we Filipinos have a unique perspective. Rice cakes pa lang daw dito. We have our own history of unique media, of unique IPs. We have experiences like Simbang Gabi and Kakanin, and our own mythology and our own writing system. For Christ's sakes, we have this whole wealth of resources that we can use, and I think gaming is just another really good way of showcasing that.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Then of course, Sir Freddie Tan, what's next for us from you?
Hey, boss.
Ano ba yung pwede naman pag-usapan?
What I mean,
May mga ibang hindi pa pwedeng pag-usapan, but there's lots of stuff coming out. There's lots of things in the pipeline. Not everything will go through, unfortunately. As with
kung pwede lang eh.
most of our projects, some projects will will meet a dead end. But we're in discussion with some comic book creators, and yun yung abangan nila. We can't really talk about it because it's either we don't have a clear direction for the game yet, so we don't have anything approved. We're still working with some other stuff with ABS-CBN. So marami. There's lots of things on our plates right now. Hintayin lang nila. But lalabas naman namin yan pag ready na. We
Okay.
have more, then
Okay.
we'll stay tuned na lang siguro.
Okay. Well, do we have to look out for any certain release dates or anything the listeners might be watching out for?
Mahirap
Wala
manalo eh.
muna, okay.
Kasi yung,
Hindi,
yung
this-
Combatron was like, oh my God, we're not gonna reach ESGS. And we had to pull some strings and basically do some magic just to reach para meron lumabas sa ESGS eh.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay.
So mahirap magsalita ng dates.
All right.
But a date that I can definitely say is December 8th.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then, we're gonna be at Comic-Con.
And Comic-Con too.
We're gonna be at Comic-Con. Berlin will be with us.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. We'll be there too. Definitely.
Cool.
We'll be there. We'll all be there.
And the December 8th one is as well as the release of the comic
We'll be there.
in
Yeah.
Glorieta. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, that's going to be a date to be. December 8th, we'll definitely be there. But yeah, that was a very good talk. I would, I'm a chattermouth. I don't know if you guys already know this, but I can talk for days. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have, guys.
Yep,
But
yep.
first, I'd like to thank everybody, Jam, for special drop and special guest. Thank you. I'd like to ask you more questions. Thomas, thank you very much. Thank you,
appreciated.
thank you, and of course, Freddie Tan. Thank you very much. And that's
Thank
it,
you for
guys.
having us.
That's it. Thank you for joining us, for sitting in for Pop Mom, the Pinoy online pop culture, music, and gaming podcast. This is Gori with Victor Barrios and Vince at the background. Thank you. We'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Bye.